Hey people, Fernando here with another video. I want to share with you guys this ad from RT News. This is a Russian television media channel, the official Russian channel. So they have this ad for Christmas, which is, again, part of their propaganda. But let's check it out. I mean, I cannot play the audio because I think it's a song that is probably copyrighted and I would get flagged and get a strike over it. But I mean, there's no conversation ongoing. It's just like the Christmas music, and they show this. Like in Europe, they show a little girl that gets a hamster as her Christmas present, right? Christmas 2021, and they're celebrating that the little girl gets a hamster. And then for 2022, Christmas is without lights because you're in the dark. There's no power anymore because Russia is not sending any more energy to Europe. So Europe is freezing over it, and they have to use their hamster as a generator so as to power their Christmas tree. And freezing, well, the hamster is used for lighting. and then for Christmas 2023, there's broken windows and they're all cold. There's no hamster anymore, and they're starving pretty much to death. And the father, while eating the mystery soup, finds that little ribbon from the hamster. The ribbon the hamster used to have, and the mother like, shh, don't tell our daughter that we're eating the pet. And it says, "Merry anti-Russian Christmas. If your media doesn't tell you where this is all going, RT is available via VPN." So this is what, of course, this is not seen in Europe in general. None of this is considered seriously by anyone in the West, but it's mostly targeting the Russian population, their own people. That's mostly what this is going for. And here the idea is to install in the minds of Russians that we're winning this thing. The West is starving and freezing and without power, and everything is terrible over there. Everything is fantastic over here. And a lot of people, especially a lot of the older people, do believe that. Now, a few things that I found quite funny. First, the idea that you would just give a little hamster to a child and that they would be happy. I don't know. In general, in the West, kids are a lot more spoiled and expect a lot more than a $5 rat as a Christmas present. I think that says a lot more about Russia and how Russians don't even celebrate Christmas. They have the 25th, they do something like on January 6th, I believe. I was just reading about that. So they have their own thing. They're different. They have a way of doing things that for many of us in the West seems alien and weird and strange. But people in Russia watch this and think, oh, they're already freezing. And I've seen so many videos of people being interviewed in Russia that they are absolutely certain that Europe is without power right now. They are sure, they have complete certainty that people are struggling in Europe, that they're freezing, that they're hungry, in the United States as well, that they're going through some of the more horrible, chaotic times you could possibly imagine, famine, and people that are without electricity. They think that's how it's going on in Europe and the United States. So that's because of this kind of propaganda that they do. Now, the anti-Russia thing, right? The idea that, most people would not try to power a Christmas tree with a hamster. the idea that it's the West against us. It's Europe and the United States against us Russians. They hate us because we are proud Russians, and they're all a bunch of Nazis. That's kind of like the narrative they were going for, which is insane. And yes, but that's insane for us. For them, they look at this and think, oh, look how bad it is, how terrible. They're freezing and they're eating pets. Oh, dear God, don't tell our daughter we're eating the hamster. Merry anti-Russian Christmas. So the idea that Christmas is anti-Russia, is anti-Russian, and people in the West are anti-Russian in general, that's one of the yet another strategy, another mechanism of propaganda, which is, presenting themselves as the victims. We are the victims of all of this. We didn't invade Ukraine. No, we're just trying to denazify. They still use that, mentally, incapacitated language. The idea that they're denazifying a country that has a Jewish president. That's their argument. That's their excuse. Right? And besides, it always belonged to us in the first place. So why shouldn't we take it? That's yet another argument that kind of comes into conflict. Are you doing, which one is it? Are you denazifying, or it always belonged to you? It's been always yours and you're just defending your own territory? Which one is it? Which of all of those bullshit excuses, which one is the one that holds any truth? Well, none, of course. But this is very good. The idea that Merry anti-Russian Christmas. Anything from the West has to be against us poor Russians. And it just shows how sick it is. The idea that they would celebrate or joke about people starving to death. And the worst part of this is that their own people are going through this. Their own people in Russia are escaping the country. You don't see anyone escaping from Europe. You don't see anyone escaping from the United States elsewhere trying to survive. You've seen hundreds of thousands of Russians escape Russia. Anyone that has any chance in hell gets their ass out of that country. There's so many YouTubers, young couples, usually the ones that are have a bit more options, especially those that had like a YouTube channel. Pretty much all of the Russian YouTubers that have any kind of possibility outside of Russia, they've left. And they keep on leaving because there's no future in the country. It's a country that on their own doing, it's entirely on them. Not only the politicians, not only the dictator, but the people that allowed such a dictator to exist for so many years. You have to own that. In the same way, people in other countries like my own, people in Argentina, you have to own up to the corrupt scumbag that you managed to keep in office for so many years, and still, till this day, that's still on you for voting and supporting or looking the other way or being part of a corrupt system. The same goes for Russia. This is on you. And if you're now watching a country that's little by little and sometimes quite accelerated becoming Cuba and North Korea, that's on you. That's because you had turn a blind eye to a dictator that was brutal with pretty much all of your neighbors, attacking countries and taking over land that didn't belong to you. And now, you're paying the consequences. You are the ones that are about to start eating rats and hamsters. You are the ones that look at all this stuff that not all that long ago you used to enjoy. You are the guys that were running to the IKEAs and, getting your carts full of crap and trying to, decorate your homes as you see in Western movies and films and TV series. That's what you wanted for your country. Well, if you're not a part of the world anymore because you cannot be civilized and you cannot act like a civilized, rational, decent country anymore, well, that's what happens. Everyone turns against you and you're left alone. You're left with China, with North Korea, with Cuba and Venezuela, and you start looking a lot more like those countries eventually as well. Folks, prepare, because these are still trying times all over the world, not so much because of anything that Russia is actually capable of doing, rather than keep on threatening and trying to negotiate something while at the same time losing a war. But the economic uncertainty that we're going through is really the consequence of the past 2 years of indiscriminate spending and financing the rich and the elite at levels that haven't seen before, and you now have to pay for that transfer of wealth. So you have my books available in Amazon following those links: Surviving the Economic Collapse, Street Survival Skills, and Bugging Out and Relocating. I think that the three books have a lot to offer in terms of different aspects of preparedness. The economic stuff that is so important these days, the practical things that you see on the streets in different countries. UK is going through a very tough time right now. Again, a lot of it self-harm because of some of the decisions made by their politicians a few years ago as well. And now you see inflation, you see poverty skyrocketing, and violence on the street. Recently, a young 19-year-old girl was, shot in a drive-by shooting in England, right, in UK. Drive-by shootings, yes, the kind of thing that was almost unthinkable not that long ago. Along with that poverty and misery comes violent crime as well. But relocating for people that are looking at possible options in their future. Guys, see you in our next video. Take care.